Hello and welcome back. So today we are doing a different kind of video, something that I honestly never thought that I would be doing, but it was actually requested, and I like taking video requests because it helps me get an idea of what you guys want to see on this channel, and it also gives me a creative direction to lean towards, and just helps everything flow. So if there's something that you would like to see me talk about or cover, leave it in the comments below, and who knows, maybe at some point down the line your idea will become a video. So today we are going to be doing what I eat in a day on a plant-based diet. Before we get into the particulars of that, I do want to give a quick disclaimer that of course I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian. Everything that you're going to be seeing and everything that I say is what I have figured out works the best for me personally. I'm not a believer that there is a one-size-fits-all when it comes to your nutrition or dietary choices. Of course, as human beings, there are certain things that we all need, but beyond that, I do not think that you can go to someone and follow exactly what they're doing and expect to see exactly the same results as them. We are all different, we all have different needs, and I think it's important to explore what those needs are for yourself and reach your own conclusions. That being said, I hope that this video will maybe give you some inspiration if you're interested in the plant-based diet, help you see that it's not as difficult as some people say that it is. You can actually have a lot of fun with it, and that you can get everything that you need to be healthy and happy. And if you're one of those people who knows that I eat a plant-based diet and is concerned that I sustain myself on nothing but lettuce, then hopefully this will calm some of your fears and help you see that actually I have a very wide, varied diet and I'm quite happy. So I have been on a plant-based diet now for the past several years, and I like it quite a lot. It fits into my lifestyle and gives me everything that I need. I've been very happy with the results that I've seen. In addition to that, I also intermittent fast, which was a very conscious choice that I made because I find that if I don't give myself a structure and something to work through, then I tend to kind of fall apart at the edges and just snack all day, which is not good and not something that I want to encourage. So in addition to the plant-based, I also intermittent fast, and I've been very happy again with the results that I've seen from that. I like how it fits in with my lifestyle, but again, that's something that you have to determine for yourself. So usually when I start my day, I will wake up and get everything together. I'll usually do some sort of yoga or Pilates or something like that to get everything moving and flowing and grooving, and then I'll do whatever chores and light tasks I have around the house, such as whatever dishes I didn't do the night before or something like that. I also like to have a cup of tea or coffee depending on how I am feeling, just because I find that it kind of puts something in my stomach and kind of tides me over until I decide to have my first meal, which for me is usually around 9:30 or 10 o'clock depending on when I get around to finally cooking food. The meals that I'm going to be taking you through today are just one small example of what I eat in a day. There are all different varieties of things that I eat, all different kinds of options. So if you enjoy this video, let me know and I can make another one at some point down the line. I do want to make a point of noting that although I don't militantly track my calories and macros, I do have a calorie tracking app on my phone, and every once in a while I will throw in what I ate that day just to double check and make sure that I'm getting everything that I need. Now, I don't like to do this religiously because I found that it can kind of be demoralizing and I can start to feel like I'm not doing everything that I need to be. It can start to mess with my head, and I know from hearing other people talk about it that calorie tracking apps and that kind of thing can be very triggering, particularly if you've ever struggled with any kind of eating disorder. So I'm not going to be showing myself using that today. I don't really recommend it, especially if you're just getting into a plant-based diet and switching from, the typical diet that most of us grow up eating. But I do want to mention that I do use that from time to time just to make sure that I'm getting everything that I need, because when you're eating a plant-based diet, you do have to pay a little bit more attention to that kind of thing, just to make sure that, you're hitting all your wickets and you're not cutting yourself short. So right now it is about 9:30 and I have my cup of tea, but I think I'm going to start cooking my first meal. I'm going to do a breakfasty type meal today, even though sometimes depending on how late in the day it gets before I get to my first meal, I might end up eating something a little bit more lunch-like. But since so many people like to start their day with a good healthy breakfast, I think it would be a good idea for this video to show you a breakfasty thing. So let's get right into it, and I hope you enjoy. So for my first meal today, I'm going to be doing a tofu scramble. I like to use a block of extra firm tofu, and it actually keeps quite well if you take it out of the package and save whatever you don't use in a sealed container in the fridge. I'm going to be sauteing this extra firm tofu with some onions that I'm going to chop up and also a can of mushrooms. I absolutely love mushrooms. I can eat them just about every single day and never get tired of them. So of course I'm going to throw them into this meal. Tofu is an awesome thing to be eating if you're on a plant-based diet because it is packed full of plant-based protein and nutrients, and it will really set you up for success on your day and give you energy and help tide you over to your next meal whenever that may be. So I have a pot on the stove that I put a little bit of vegetable oil in, and I'm going to be sauteing first the onion and the mushrooms. I like to let the oil get a little bit warm before I throw the veggies and mushrooms in the pan. Start with a little bit of the onion. And then throw the mushrooms. And I will saute this at a pretty high heat until everything starts to look done. So until the onions start to look a little bit clearer and softer. And I even like to go until the mushrooms start to get a little bit crispy, but that can take a little bit too long, so we'll see how it goes today. Kind of get everything mixed together, and while that sautés, I like to add just a little bit of salt and pepper. Now while that is sauteing, we'll prep our tofu. If you've never worked with tofu before, you have to kind of press the liquid that it is held in this container out of it so that it cooks a little bit easier, and I'll show you a quick and easy way to do that if you don't want to prep your tofu the night before. And I'm not going to make this whole thing because that would be too much. I'll cut off a portion about that big, I think. And the excess I'll put in this glass Tupperware, and it'll sit in the fridge until I'm ready to eat the rest of it, which is usually just a couple of days or so. I could easily go through 2 blocks of tofu a day. So since we need to get the moisture pressed out of this tofu, an easy method that I have been using for a really long time is to actually press it in the microwave. So you can take a paper towel or a dish towel, whichever you prefer, and you want to just cube up the tofu into smaller, more manageable pieces, set it on a plate on top of the towel, and then wrap it up. And then you're going to take another plate or anything heavy really and put it on top of the tofu and stick it in the microwave for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how much tofu you have and the capabilities of your microwave. So now that we have pressed our tofu, we just need to unwrap it, and you'll want to be careful because the steam will be quite hot. There's really no pretty way to do this. So now you have your pressed cubes of tofu, and for the scramble, you're just going to take a fork, or if it's cool enough, you could use your fingers and just shred it up like this. All ready to go into the skillet. In addition to this tofu scramble this morning, I'm going to be toasting a slice of whole wheat toast, and with that I'm going to be having some non-dairy butter and some of this delicious strawberry preserves. So once we get this going in the skillet, we'll start toasting that. Oh yeah. These are basically perfect. We could go ahead and add the tofu. While the tofu is in the microwave, I went ahead and assembled the other spices and ingredients that I'm going to use for this. I'm going to use some minced garlic. I absolutely love garlic. I put it in everything. Some onion powder, and strange as it seems, some lemon juice. But I do want to note that with a tofu scramble, you can add literally anything you want. Tofu in and of itself is relatively tasteless, so it takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with and whatever you season it with. So if none of this stuff, the mushrooms and the onions and these spices, if they aren't your cup of tea, you can definitely modify this and make it work for yourself. Alright, so now while this is finishing up, we'll go and toast the whole wheat bread for the bread and jam. So I like to saute everything until some of the tofu starts to look a little bit browned and crispy. And I'm seeing some pieces in here that are like that. It's all personal preference, but that's what I like, and I think we're about done. That is my breakfast. I'm also going to get a glass of orange juice, and then we're going to go sit down and talk about this delicious meal. I'm very excited and quite hungry. So as you can see, this is an incredibly quick and easy start to your day, quick and easy breakfast to make. There are 101 different ways to modify it and make it something that you will absolutely love. It's so funny because if you had told me 5-6 years ago that I would one day be eating tofu on a pretty regular basis, I would have laughed in your face. My perception of tofu was what most people's is, I think, which is that it's kind of nasty and not really something that you should be eating. It's not natural. The truth of the matter is it can be quite good. It honestly is all up to your cooking abilities and your willingness to work with it and put in the effort. And if you can do that, you will have a really delicious meal really, really easily. And like I said, it's packed full of plant-based protein and nutrients and everything that you would want to get your day started correctly. One more thing I want to mention, this is important and I want to make sure I mention it now at the beginning of the video. My cat is meowing like crazy. I'm so sorry. I want to make sure I mention it now so that I don't forget later on. But in addition to all of this stuff, I also take a multivitamin. I'm not promoting this particular brand. I found it on Amazon. There are all different kinds of multivitamins out there that you can take. This one is plant-based, of course, and it is packed full of everything that you need. All of your vitamins and nutrients, particularly vitamin B12, which is very important if you are eating a plant-based diet and rarely or never eat meat. It's very important to make sure that you are getting that nutrient in your diet because you definitely need it, definitely want it. And I take 2 little capsules every single day, usually with my breakfast, and it just helps make sure that if I'm not getting everything that I need in my diet, it fills in those gaps and makes sure that I am good to go. So I want to make sure that I mention that if you are thinking of transitioning to a plant-based diet or have been on a plant-based diet and you haven't been taking some sort of multivitamin, please do yourself a favor and do that. You can wreck yourself if you aren't ensuring that you're getting every single nutrient that you need. So that being said, I am going to eat this delicious breakfast and then get my day started. I have some chores and various things that I want to get done, so I'll be probably checking in with you again sometime around lunchtime, whenever that will be. So sit back and I'll see you soon. Alright, so it has been a few hours since I had my breakfast, and since I intermittent fast, I usually end up eating 2 regular meals and then a snack in between. I find that works best for me. That's not what everybody does, but that's what I like to do. It helps with making sure that my snacking doesn't get out of control, my portions stay reasonable. I don't know, it just works for me. I'm not recommending, again, that anybody do this. I'm just sharing what I do. I am going to work on editing a couple of videos right now, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a snack while we do that. I have these roasted and salted almonds, which I really like, and I chopped up an apple, and I'm gonna have that. It is Pink Lady, I believe, which is Stuart and my favorite apple. And then Stuart was home for lunch just a minute ago, and he made some crescent rolls, and so I'm gonna have a couple of these because I like bread. And I was gonna have a protein shake as well, but I think when I get done editing, I'm gonna go to the gym. I've been trying to get back in the swing of everything, get my fitness back on track. I kind of want to work on my cardio some more because my cardio is bad. So I'm gonna go and do that. I think just some cycling. I would run. I wish I could just run outside, but I don't think my face and everything can take it. So I'm gonna do that, and then when I come back, I will have the protein shake, and I'll show you the kind of protein powder that I use and everything. I really like it. But for now, I'm going to get into editing this video, have my little snacky snack, and then after that, head off to the gym.
2 hours later.
Alright, so I am back from the gym, and I went ahead and mixed myself up a protein shake. I have this protein powder here that Stuart actually found for me. I had been having trouble finding a plant-based protein powder that didn't taste like dirt. A lot of them are disgusting, and we found this one, and it's on Amazon. I think it's about $30 a tub, and it tastes really good. It's the Orgain Organic Protein plant-based protein powder, and I get the creamy chocolate fudge. There's 21 grams of protein in a scoop, and I usually will mix it with about that much almond or soy milk, whatever I happen to have at the time, and drink that, you know, throughout the day or after a workout or whatever the case may be. And I'm very satisfied. If I had to give a recommendation to anyone if they're looking for a plant-based protein, it would definitely be this protein. I'll actually put the link for Amazon down in the description of this video, so if you're interested and you want to go check it out, you can go check it out there. This is not, of course, sponsored by them. I just like the protein. I always feel so much better after I go and work out. It doesn't matter if it's in the gym or just yoga or Pilates here at the house, or just going for a run outside when I was able to. It's anything to get your body moving. It always makes me feel so much better. You know, after my accident, all of the structure and the good habits and everything that I have built up around myself came crashing down. And so since then, you know, I basically went 2 months without doing anything. I was just trying to survive, which is absolutely fine. That was exactly what I was supposed to be doing at that time. But now I'm wanting to get back to where I was before everything happened, and it's gonna be a long road in a lot of ways. And I was honestly feeling a little bit down because I'm not where I was before I got hurt. Physically, I'm not where I was. And I want to get back to that so badly. And going and working out, it just kind of like mentally reset my brain. I cycled for like 40-ish minutes or so, and I was just watching YouTube videos and just kind of zoning out, and I had the realization that, you know what, everything is a journey. Everything takes time. It doesn't matter what it is. Your fitness journey, your nutrition journey, spiritual, mental, emotional, it doesn't matter. Like, everything's a journey. None of us can snap our fingers and just make it happen. And taking a step back and realizing that for myself in that moment where I was actively doing something to progress myself really it did wonders, and I feel a lot better than I did before I left to go to the gym. So just some food for thought, and maybe that'll give you some hope if you are feeling a little bit down on yourself too, for whatever reason. So I'm going to finish this protein. I'm gonna keep on working on some video stuff. Stuart should be home before too much longer, and we're gonna start talking about dinner, and I'm really excited about that. So I'll see you soon. All right, so it's time for dinner, and originally when I had written out my outline for this video, I had planned a spaghetti mock meatball dinner with like a veggie side and garlic toast and that kind of thing. But since I wrote that outline, I came across a event going down at one of the restaurants here in town called Two Wives that we really like, and they're basically doing like a Syrian type thing. And I've never had Syrian food. I really want to try it, and so Stuart and I are going to do that for dinner. The cool thing with different ethnic foods like Eastern Indian, Middle Eastern, like a lot of Chinese, a lot of the foods are very easily customizable to a plant-based diet, or they already have plant-based options. So that's something that's really handy and something that I absolutely love. It makes me like these foods even more than I already would, and it's so easy to like them because they are delicious. So we're gonna head there now, and I'm not gonna really film a whole lot while we're in the restaurant, mainly because I want to be able to enjoy my meal. So I'll get some shots of the food that we get, and then I'll fill you guys in afterwards. I'm really excited though, because I've never had Syrian food before, like I said, and it looked from the photos that they had like it was going to be delicious. So fingers crossed for a interesting dining experience. Alrighty guys, so we are back home, just got back about 30 minutes ago, and let's recap dinner. I've never had Syrian food before, like I said, and I'm really happy that we took the opportunity to try something different. I love trying new kinds of food, and it was really pretty good. They had all different kinds of stuff, and I'm not gonna remember any of the names for any of it, but there was like a fried rice that was really, really good, some sort of like eggplant dip that was like really, really creamy, a few different kinds of chicken. Stuart had those. I finally got to try falafel. I've never had falafel before, and I actually really liked it. It was really good. And then some sort of salad that had like chopped up lettuce and tomato and cucumber and onion and a whole bunch of different kinds of greens, and that was really good. It had like a tangy dressing. I don't know, it was great. And then for dessert they had a rice pudding and some sort of little pastry thing that I cannot remember the name for, but the lady that was serving them said they were basically like an empanada, and it had some sort of filling, and it was really, really good. And then we also had spiced tea. I had a cup of spiced tea. It kind of tasted like black tea with some sort of spiced honey or something in it. It was really, really good. And then Stuart had this coffee that they had, and that was how we finished our meal. It was really great, and I'm happy that we got to try it. I will say that I honestly think I like Indian food more, but that is just my personal taste preference. I really, really love Indian food, and even though this was very, very similar, it was different. It was its own thing. So anyway, it was great. It's always awesome when you can go out to eat somewhere and there are plant-based options. In this case, the falafel and the rice and the salad and a couple of the other things I had were plant-based, and having those options is awesome because it means you don't have to sweat and try to make something fit into your dietary restrictions. There have been plenty of times where I've had to resort to nothing but a salad and french fries, which is fine, but it can get old after a while and take the fun out of eating out. So it's always nice when there are other options for you. This pretty much wraps up my what I eat in a day on a plant-based diet. If you liked this video, let me know and I can do others later on down the line. Like I said, this is just an example, one example of what I eat in a day. I eat different things every single day. I like to keep it interesting and fun and not boring. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, let me know and I'll take it into consideration. I had originally originally wanted to do this video back in January during the popular Veganuary time of year to try to cater to people who might be considering giving veganism or a plant-based diet a try. I thought that it might help people, but you know, things didn't work out that way, and to be honest, there is never a wrong time of year to try something new, challenge yourself, and you know, throw your routine for a loop, so to speak. So you're getting the video when you're getting it, and I really hope you enjoyed it. You'll have to let me know what your thoughts are and anything that you would like to see in the future. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, turn on the bell icon so you'll get notified every single time I post. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you again soon for the next video, whenever and wherever that may be. Bye guys.